Illegal immigrants is the 8th video in our series, Why South Africa is Getting Poorer. There comes a time when a nation must look itself in the mirror, not with anger, but with honesty. South Africa stands at that mirror now. And the question before us is simple, yet deeply uncomfortable. How long can a people build their country on a foundation that leaks, while pretending not to see the cracks? Everywhere we go, from the small car wash behind a petrol station, to the kitchen of a restaurant, to the construction site rising behind a dusty township, we see faces we do not know, voices that do not belong to this soil. They work hard, yes. No one denies that. But what few are brave enough to say aloud is this: they are here illegally. And yet, who hired them? Who gave them a place to sleep? Who turns a blind eye every day in exchange for cheap labor, cheap rent, and silent workers? It is not them. It is us, South Africans, who complain about unemployment, rising prices, and crime, yet open our gates and our wallets to the very system that feeds those problems. At first, it feels harmless. A small business owner says, "These workers don't complain. They accept less pay." A homeowner says, "He just needs a room. It's extra income." A restaurant manager says, "She's faster and she won't argue." But bit by bit, a silent economy is built, one that undercuts the legal one that thrives on avoidance, of tax, of regulation, of fairness. When illegal immigrants are employed for less, they drag down the value of labor itself. Suddenly, South Africans are told, "You're too expensive," not because they are lazy or unskilled, but because they cannot live on crumbs. This is not competition. This is quiet economic sabotage, done not by foreign hands, but by local choices, by us. And then comes housing, the hidden crisis. A landlord looks at a shack, a room, a back cottage and says, "Why not rent it to 5 foreigners instead of 1 local?" The result? Rents rise, overcrowding spreads. Basic services collapse under pressure never planned for. Then the same communities begin to complain. The area is unsafe. The houses are too expensive. There are too many people. But who created that demand? Who turned homes into unregulated hostels? Who decided that money mattered more than national dignity? We did. We are both the victims and the culprits of our own decay. When illegal labor thrives, wages fall. When illegal tenants multiply, housing becomes scarce. When both go unchecked, social tension grows, and soon crime follows close behind. And yet, the people most affected are not the powerful. They are the poor. The mother who cannot afford rent because her area is now overcrowded. The young man who cannot find work because he demands fair pay. The shopkeeper who closes down because informal traders, protected by nothing but numbers, sell without tax or license. This is not hate. This is arithmetic. You cannot pour water endlessly into a small cup and expect it not to overflow. The problem is not only at the border. It lives in the choices made every day by ordinary citizens, by you and me. We have created a system where survival has no rules and compassion has no discipline. We pity the foreigner, but punish our own. We protect outsiders from hunger, but leave our youth to starve. We shout at government for failing us, but we too have failed ourselves. Every time you employ an illegal worker, you are not being kind. You are being short-sighted. Every time you rent to illegal tenants, you are not helping. You are hollowing out your community. Every time you buy from an unlicensed illegal trader, you are not saving. You are silently destroying the very economy your children will depend on. And the leaders, oh, the leaders. They speak of jobs, housing, and unity, while their silence feeds this chaos. Because illegal labor benefits not only the desperate, but also the powerful, through cheap votes, cheap contracts, cheap silence. It is the same story in every township, every city. Those who shout, "Foreigners must go," are often the same ones who pay them under the table the next morning. That is not integrity. It is hypocrisy wearing patriotism as perfume. When borders become ideas instead of boundaries, a nation loses its identity. Culture erodes, language fades, law becomes suggestion. Then we wake up one day to find our children asking, "What does it even mean to be South African?" Because when everything and everyone is tolerated, nothing and no one is truly valued. A society that refuses to protect its borders cannot protect its citizens. A people who outsource their labor, their land, their laws, outsource their future. Now listen carefully. This is not a call for cruelty. It is a call for clarity. It is not about hating foreigners. It is about loving South Africa enough to protect it. If we continue to blur the lines between right and wrong, legal and illegal, local and foreign, then soon we will have no lines left to defend. And when that day comes, when the unemployed become desperate, when the taxpayer becomes overburdened, when communities collapse under pressure, we will look for someone to blame. But there will be no one left to blame but ourselves. So what must be done? First, we must stop pretending. Illegal employment is not help, it is harm. Illegal housing is not business, it is exploitation. Illegal trade is not opportunity, it is theft, from the legal, from the honest, from the patriotic. Second, we must reclaim accountability, demand documentation before hiring, report illegal rentals in overcrowded properties, support lawful business even when it costs more, because integrity always costs something, but losing your country costs everything. History has shown in every corner of the world, wherever citizens value profit more than principle, nations decay. But where citizens stand firm for law, fairness, and dignity, nations rise, even from ashes. So, before you hire that illegal worker, before you rent that room without asking questions, before you buy that product from a trader who does not pay what you pay, ask yourself, am I helping someone today, or am I quietly helping destroy my country? Because the truth is simple, South Africa. Every act of convenience that breaks the law slowly breaks the nation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel.